Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, droids across our beloved empire, let me say this before we get started. It's great to be in the empire today for many reasons, but I'll give you one reason right now. Somebody bring it on down. We're talking about Jedi Master Kenobi counters today, and ho, baby! Moff Gideon and Imperial Remnants look like they're going to be on the forefront of our minds when it comes to countering Galactic Legends, and we have a ton of other counters for this new Galactic Legend we are going to talk about today. But we got to highlight a few things and caveat a few things as well before we get into this gameplay, because this character, most of this footage we're seeing is mostly non-ultimate gameplay. We do have one ultimate gameplay of Kenobi on defense, thanks to my arena shard battling my team. But for the most part, this is non-ultimate gameplay. Secondly, we got to talk about here is Commander Ahsoka Tano is not inside of the game yet. We have to wait at least another month before people start unlocking her. Thirdly, we don't know if this is going to be the ideal Jedi Master Kenobi team. Jedi Master Kenobi with the Jedi Council team or a bunch of Galactic Republic Jedi is the most logical team right now. But as we know from the past, Galactic Legends compositions change over time as we start understanding them a little bit more. But let me say this, although most of this gameplay is going to be non-ultimate gameplay that we recorded from our stream the other day, put a card in the top right-hand corner. If history has told us anything, even the testing that we've done before an ultimate gets into the mix here, these counters we're seeing, most of them will survive even after the ultimate. And let's start off with these first chunk of counters that we have up on the screen right behind me as we're speaking. These are what seem to be the good, solid counters to Jedi Master Kenobi. And good thing is it looks like Synthatiger, although he gets clobbered by Jedi Master Kenobi when Kenobi's on the offensive in the hands of a talented user, he seems to handle Jedi Master Kenobi fine. Few things we've noticed. Jedi Master Kenobi doesn't seem to be the brightest when it comes to his defensive capabilities. One, from the one ultimate gameplay testing we have, it looks like he jumps the gun on the altar. The second he has access to it, he uses it, similarly to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And secondly, Jedi are just bouncing all over the place. They're not focusing fire on anyone, although Jedi Master Kenobi does have some priorities for things like Darth Revan, Thrawn, things of that nature. The rest of the team is just bouncing everywhere, which you can use to your advantage. So Sith Eternal, do not worry, Sith Eternal owners. It seems like you should be able to handle this character fine. Rey, also another counter that seems like it's going to be fine before and after the ultimate abilities in the mix. Really no inconveniences. Veteran Smuggler Han Solo is kind of a waste. I'd recommend putting Holdo in that fifth slot. That we have it for extra foresight, extra taunting capabilities. Resistance, I think, going to be fine. Even when we do ultimate versus ultimate on Rey versus Jedi Master Kenobi, Rey is kind of the trickier team for Jedi Master Kenobi to beat. These two are actually fairly on balance with each other when you put them head to head here. But in a moment, I want to start talking about the non-Galactic Legend stuff. That's just a highlight. We will talk about Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and Jedi Master Kenobi a little bit more towards the end of the video here. But these next counters are going to blow your minds away. Imperial Remnants is going to be on deck in any moment here with Moff Gideon and oh my. Let's just say this, Imperial Remnants, they've been just an all right team before Jedi Master Kenobi came to the mix, but really has not been a team that is worthy of breaking apart the Imperial Troopers. And instead we create Super Trooper teams with General Veer's lead, throwing in things like Gideon, throwing in things like the Dark Trooper for a superior General Veer's Imperial Trooper team. However, General Veer's lead is not that good up against Jedi Master Kenobi because there's no turn meter gains. However, bringing in Moff Gideon, wow, I think this is even going to survive after Alton, even after Commander Ahsoka Tano. The reason why this is so good is, one, control the situation since there's no turn meter manipulation on either side of the field. These are just free buffs granted to your team, and nobody, your side or the other, is losing turn meter. You're going to be triggering all these extra taunts on your allies, yada, yada, yada. Offense up, the protection up. Fantastic. But this lead, tactical deployment is going to be king, I think. We're going up against those Commander Ahsoka Tano teams. Again, we're going to have to wait till next month when Commander Ahsoka Tano comes in the picture. But let me explain why. Pretty much every single Jedi out there in the game has a leadership ability. And tactical deployment already allows dark side allies to get extra health and extra protection and extra offense out the gate. However, if you satisfy those key requirements, having the two attackers, the one support and the one tank, all of a sudden, you're getting incredible amounts of stacking offense, 10% offense every single time an enemy with the leader tag uses an ability, which is practically everyone on that team that you're seeing right here. In a few moments, watch this Dark Trooper. We're going to just absolutely delete Kenobi out of Galaxy. Bye-bye. Oh, man! You should have seen my face when that happened. And secondly, this is important. Imperial Trooper allies are also getting extra 25% offense, and they get to revive with 50% health and protection the first time they are defeated in an encounter. So basically, you got to kill off 10 Imperial Remnants, and furthermore, know your adversaries applies Demoralize, and there's tons and tons of offense reduction on the opposing team. And if you bring in things like Piet and you force Gary the Stormtrooper to taunt, Gary's actually a hard counter to the Jedi Master Kenobi team with Demoralize and Stormtroopers incredibly high defense and high health and protection. It looks like they're barely putting a scratch in that Stormtrooper. And yes, you might be saying, oh, well, Commander Ahsoka Tano's gonna ruin this. No. Commander Ahsoka Tano, yes, she can instant kill turn 1 with Jedi Master Kenobi, but it's only 1 instant kill at the beginning of an encounter. And secondly, it does not prevent revive. So yes, she might go ahead and kill off the first Stormtrooper, but that Stormtrooper will revive yet again, and she can't instant kill again. It's only a one-time instant kill capability for Jedi Master Kenobi. So keep your eyes on this one. I think Imperial Remnants are going to be huge moving down the road here. And the great thing about it is I don't think we need Piet. You might be able to make things like Range Trooper work in here, but nonetheless, I think you can still have a good General Veers team, and Imperial Remnants look like they need to be on the radar for countering this Galactic Legend. Bad Batch, holy cow. They mowed down this team, and I think if there is a chance we get Omega as well as things maybe like Crosshair down to, I think this team's gonna be even better. We threw Shock Team the 5th slot, and we just blazed through that Jedi Master Kenobi team. The constant assist, the defense of doing bonus damage, and all the stealth really threw off that Jedi Master Kenobi team. And record taunting with all the extra health and protection he has, he is incredibly durable. So Bad Batch, put him on your radars. I think they also have a good chance to survive even after the ultimate Commander Ahsoka Tano mix. We'll have to wait and see how that works. Commander Ahsoka Tano might throw a wrench into the Bad Batch. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for us. This one's interesting. General Anakin Skywalker. I mean, these are teams that aren't really being used for countering other teams. Full 501st countering Jedi Master Kenobi. Good thing is, for now, is that this team is incredibly durable. You got to keep knocking out Skywalker, and then the AI for Jedi Master Kenobi is an idiot. They're bouncing everywhere. Inevitably, they cause the sacrifice for 5, so he can just feed a bunch of stats. And then it seemed like we were only losing one character with the 501st team, not nearly as clean as the Bad Batch or the the other team before that, the Imperial Remnants. But nonetheless, it was a fairly consistent counter. However, I think Commander Ahsoka Tano might cause complications because General Anakin Skywalker can be instantly defeated, and unlike the Imperial Remnants, there's no revive on the 501st team. So I think he's going to be fine post-ultimate, but when Commander Ahsoka Tano comes to the mix, and assuming she's going to be great with Jedi Master Kenobi, I don't know if the 501st are going to survive. Next team on deck, Padme Amidala, another fantastic counter. It seemed like you might lose at least one character. The Padme Amidala is a little bit like Jedi Master Kenobi. Well, to be fair, Jedi Master Kenobi is a little bit like Padme. Padme came first in this situation right here. She's great for those out of turn attacks. So all the mass swarms, your team's gonna eat it up because she's anti-assist out of turn in this situation. And General Kenobi was incredibly durable, holding up to the big punches coming his way. And we got the anti-critical hit stuff built into that protection, very similar to Jedi Master Kenobi as well. But the other reason why this is good, there seems to be a theme going on here, but the other reason why this is good is that we have this big burst damage through the courage capability. So once they drop off that damage immunity that Kenobi likes to start off with at the beginning of the battle, you should be able to burst fire characters left and right because of all the courage that was stacking until you finally can unload it all. So the theme I'm noticing here with these solid counters so far are teams that are very durable. They might not be fast because there's no turn meter gains. Turn meter gain teams don't seem to do well up against the team because turn meter gain has shut down Rebels, and then General Veers didn't really handle well up against this team up here. But being able to just survive the hits coming, and when it's finally your turn, unload big damage seems to be the key. And so far, Imperial Remnants stacking offense for leaders, using abilities and all the other stacks of stuff going on, and the Demoralize helping you survive as long as possible. General Anakin Skywalker, the mechanic that forces you to take down gas before you start working on the rest, is another important one. And then Padme, you're able to survive the big hits coming in, and then you can instead turn around and throw the big hits right back at him with the courage. I think Padme is going to be good. Commander Ahsoka Tano, we'll have to wait and see. No one can really know for right now. Who knows? Maybe Commander Ahsoka Tano won't be all that amazing with Jedi Master Kenobi. I don't think that's going to be the case, but time will tell when that story comes around next month when people start unlocking her. Next couple of teams we're going to talk about are teams counters that were good, but I think they might struggle once we get some more Ultimate Kenobis and maybe Commander Ahsoka down the road. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, we have this Jedi Revan counter right here, which is basically the team we would use to go up against the Rey, maybe, or maybe even Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. We were able to eke out a win. It looked a little messy before even the Ultimate was in place, but I think it's a counter we'll have to revisit again after Ultimate to make sure it still works. But the good thing is, it had the durability, it had the capability of going down Jedi Master Kenobi as fast as possible. We used a very similar strategy to Rey. With Rey, you would mark down Rey, everyone blitz her, and take her out. So it seemed like this one will do okay down the road, but I'm just putting it in the, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to survive down the road. It's a little sketch. Jedi versus Jedi seems to be a bit sketchier of a battle in this situation. And next up, we have a couple of other teams that still were good, but I think we got to be cognizant of what's to come. Now, keep in mind, not everyone's going to have Ultimate Kenobi right now. We are very early in the game. Only very few people have the ultimate ability for the time being, but soon down the road, another week or two, we'll start seeing more ultimates. But we got to have some stuff on the table because people are going to territories and Grand Range. We're going to see tons of non-Ultimate Kenobis. Here's our Jedi Master Luke versus Jedi Master Kenobi. Ultimate versus Ultimate. This is my team you're seeing on defense right now. Jedi versus Jedi battles seem to be extremely messy. This is a very, very close battle. I don't think it's going to be as easy as using Rey versus Kenobi, but nonetheless, my guildmate, not my guildmate, my arena shardmate, Smack410, thanks again for trying this out, was able to squeak out a win. Maybe a different strategy. We'll have to wait and see if maybe there's an easier way to go about this Jedi versus battle match here. But as you can notice, there's a few things. Jedi Master Kenobi could have definitely won a lot earlier if they were playing a little bit smarter. And here's the thing. Yes, his AI might not be the brightest. You notice he used his ultimate ability before he reached the 100%, which I would say that's probably not the best way to go about it. But we need to find these weaknesses in these teams here because there's never been an unbeatable team in Star Wars Galaxy. I don't think there ever will be a team that way. There's always been counters to these galactic legends so far. Just you got to keep in mind, he does hit hard when he does push out that ultimate. The good news is, once he allows everyone to start ignoring taunts, man, they're all over the place. I think we got to take that to our advantage, and the fact he doesn't seem to want to wait to 100% stacking 100% ultimate charge. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I'm not going to rule this one out. These next few battles you're going to see here are losses, but I think we can find two of them to move into the win counter category down the road. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren definitely has an uphill battle because of the fact the bonus protection on a Jedi Master Kenobi prevents critical hits, and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren needs those critical hits to feed the ultimate charge for the beast. So what I'm thinking is, there probably will be a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren counter. Maybe not a full first order team. Maybe we got to come up with some hybrid situation, something that allows Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to charge up his ultimate a little bit faster, and maybe furthermore, stack up his stats as much as possible through the siphon mechanics. So I'm not going to rule out Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, but I think we need to work on him a little bit more. Sith Triumvirate. This was interesting. It has some of the capabilities that we talked about. Remember, highlighting this situation here. Teams that have high durability, teams that can lower the offensive output, and teams that have big burst damage seem to do okay. Well, Sith Trio probably could have played a little bit better, but Traya penalizes you for buffs out of turns, attacks out of turns, and she reduces and she increases your critical avoidance on your team, which reduces the threat of things like General Anakin Skywalker a little bit more. We have the Isolate, so we can pull some people out of the mix in that situation. It seems like the Isolate bypasses the Jedi Master Kenobi savior mechanic that he has. And then we have Nihilus in there for the big burst damage. We had Malik and Darth Revan in there. Maybe we could have done something else, but at least Malik has kind of a big burst damage type of thing when he does the drained life ability. So put that on radar. Might work out. Next up here, we have Sith Empire. A little tricky of a battle. I don't want to completely rule out this team just yet. We got close in a few situations, but I think this one will be a very difficult battle even after the ultimate comes into the play and when Commander Ahsoka comes into play. Not sure where my hopes are for this team. It would have been nice if we could have used things like Wat Tambor, used the Blast to Echo Mod on Darth Revan, similar to how we counter Jedi Master Luke, but the problem is you can't gain bonus Terminator. So Wat Tambor's Blast to Echo Mod is not nearly as valuable going up against Jedi Master Kenobi, but I don't want to rule it out. I think there's a good chance. Darth Vader, I know I'm going to get tons of questions about how is Darth Vader's viability. I don't want to rule it out yet. It's not looking good just yet. Reason being is the opposing team's going to start with a ton of foresight and tenacity up. And of course, they're going to get a couple attacks there most likely before Darth Vader can do his thing. But here's my thinking on Darth Vader. There might be a chance to make him work out if we make him drastically slower and allow someone to dispel all the buffs earlier on, whether that be, I don't know, Echo, Imperial Probe Droid, Scion, somebody that can help control all those buffs at the very beginning, unavoidable buff dispels, by the way, because when Vader's throwing the Merciless Massacre, he can't really do much. And the other problem is there's no bonus Terminator. So even if you use Wat Tambor, one of the upsides of Vader and Wat Tambor was there's tons of Terminator being fed to Vader, so you can try to get as many turns in as possible. Doesn't seem to be the case. Hard to land damage over times, hard to land any debuffs for that matter. Lots of foresight in the way. Luckily, he could still ability block through the foresight and the tenacity up, but still nonetheless, very tricky uphill battle. I think that one's gonna need a lot of work. Vader can counter all the Galactic Legends easily out the gate. Until now, Jedi Master Kenobi is gonna cause a struggle, so we need to come back and see what happens down the road. So those are pretty much the main counters as of now. We did try a bunch of other stuff. We tried Geonosians, we tried the Rebels. Rebels got shut down. General Veers, Imperial Troopers didn't look all that hot. These teams I'm showing you, yes, this is mostly non-ultimate gameplay on defense that we're seeing, but time and time again, history has shown us when we're looking for counters for these Galactic Legends day one, even before the ultimate and then moving into the ultimate status of a Galactic Legend, when we see more and more of them down the road, all these counters we're seeing today, most of them will survive. So keep them on your radar, but I have high hope for things like the Imperial Remnants. Oh, man. I don't care if there's an alternate or Commander Ahsoka Tano. That team is durable. It's going to mess up Kenobi's offense, and we got massive burst fire damage to knock down that wall of the high ground that Master Kenobi is. Thank you so much for coming out. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment down below and all your thoughts. Don't worry, it won't bite. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And say it with me, baby. Oh, the Empire's looking great today. And what does that mean at the end of the day? Ooh, it's great to be in the Empire today. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for coming out. Peace out.